Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
Why not have a securities analysis if it's unclear already? And so I actually kind of forgot exactly what section of this I wanted to show to you guys. I believe it's somewhere around here though.
To the Senate, Chair Gensler stated in a somewhat contradictory way that, quote, some of these tokens have been deemed to be commodities and many of them are securities, close quote. So I'm curious, will you be able to explain why the report did not include any analysis of policy issues under the securities laws as they pertain to stable coins? And was it discussed? And again, given that the SEC is a member of the working group, certainly if it wasn't discussed, why not?
Yes, of course. So the President's Working Group was convened to view stablecoins as a possible way to improve the payment system. And the mandate was to identify whether this new possible payment instrument, based on a new technology, would have the appropriate regulatory framework. And the goal was to identify gaps in regulation. As I mentioned in my testimony, this proposal builds on existing.
I also kind of wonder, is she reading this off, by the way, or is she like just looking at her screen, which is all the way up there and the camera is like lower or something?
Laws and regulations that apply, including SEC regulations that apply to stablecoins as a investment asset or a security. So
did I miss something? I mean, it doesn't look like there was any analysis that was actually done on that.
No, we did not include what the existing securities were, but what is you?
Hold on, I'm sorry.
This man, by the way, is a freaking beast. He's like, yeah, nice story. nice story what you're writing right there. But so what's the conclusion? She's like, well, no, we did. So he's like, what are you talking about?
Hold on. I'm sorry, Madam Secretary, but it's unclear already. So why would you not do that analysis? If we don't have a clear picture, why would you not have done that analysis?
Yeah, so I think I would need to defer to the SEC for its enforcement strategy, for its strategies about how to address stablecoin. But
oh my days, did I love this, guys. I literally, I don't want to say what I got, but I got something from this. It was like amazing. Holy freaking smokes. Representative Bill Huizinga, I think. Woo! This is a juicy little talk right there. It's like hitting the nail on the freaking head. I'm confused. I've never seen this video before, but this is amazing. Honestly. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you here. Let's actually get the start going because I missed the first 20 seconds. So let's actually watch that part.
That, close quote. While that may not be the most clear statement of intent, it does suggest that the chair believes that Congress needs to act in order or for most or all stablecoins to fall under the SEC's regulatory authority. Yet, during his testimony to the Senate, Chair Gensler stated in a somewhat contradictory way that, quote, some of these tokens have been deemed to be commodities and many of them are securities, close quote.
So I would say one of the most important points right there is that he kind of in a funny way said Congress needs to take action to get these stablecoins under SEC regulation. Then again, some of them are actually commodities. That's already one of the fun parts, but also the fact that the person whom he's asking this for, or to, doesn't actually understand it either, I guess. Because she's talking, and I like what she's trying to do, but at the end of the day, his question of why didn't they just include an analysis of how they came to a certain conclusion, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, no, why did they not include an analysis? She doesn't actually know. She's like, well, ask them. That's kind of funny. I don't know. I like this one. This is like one of the moments where we see them just kind of crumbling under their own construction that they've built. And it goes on and more and on. So here's another one. Now it's defer to the CFTC, because she says I would like to defer to the SEC basically, so go check there. Here's the Financial Services GOP, which basically says under Secretary Liang to Rep Frank Lucas, the PWG, I believe the work group, right, did not try to come to a conclusion about the applicability of securities or commodities laws. It is the role of Congress, not the administration or regulators, to decide which agencies have jurisdiction over digital assets. And let's quickly watch this also.
The CFTC has shown through enforcement action that it has some authority over stable coins.
Okay, this is like the worst quality video in the world.
Is it the working group's view that the Commodity Exchange Act gives CFTC the full authority to audit stablecoins to ensure that the assets are backing the stablecoins are fully accounted for?
I would definitely need to defer to the CFTC, refer to the CFTC on that view. The PWG did not try to come to a conclusion about the applicability of the securities and the commodities laws. That is something their agencies are working on, and as I understand it, there are enforcement cases in the courts that are addressing this issue.
And that actually is a very interesting statement at the end there as well, which is that there's enforcement actions trying to kind of get to a certain conclusion, when in reality we're seeing that the SEC is trying to make rules through enforcement yet again, when in reality that's not the best way to do it. We've concluded a multitude of times already. Now, regarding that, right, what she's now saying is, or at least one of the questions being asked is, so who exactly decides in under what bracket it falls? All these little different pieces, basically. CFTC, SEC, how does it work? She says, well, it's kind of Congress, but at the end of the day, I really can't give you a proper answer, but I'd like to kind of come back and say, hey, check out with the CFTC exactly how that goes. And so, where exactly do we get the answer to any of the questions about this? Is the PWG the working group? Not really. Is the CFTC? Not really. Is the SEC? Not really. Is then the Congress? Well, yeah, but they kind of quote back and say, well, we're trying to look into some, but you won't really get an answer there. So then it comes back to the later statement which she made, which is mostly about the fact that there's enforcement actions going on. Yet again, guys, think about it. If Congress enforcement action? No. We're talking SEC, for example, enforcement action. And so then, if we followed by that logic, it has to come back to the reasoning or whatever of the SEC. But then if we look back at the previous video, if we look at the reasoning behind the SEC's thoughts and the analysis that went into things from the PWG, for example, it's like, well, but we didn't include that for some reason. Why? Well, because you got to look back with Congress or apparently the enforcement actions, which again, they can't really quote anything on. If you ask me, makes absolutely no sense. They make it confusing deliberately. Then again, guys, these videos are not financial or legal advice. These are just my opinions. Yet, if you guys can make clear exactly what all this stuff means, shoot a message down below. But, at the end of the day, I find it all quite confusing. And you might say, oh, but these are just stablecoins. Yeah, but this story stretches quite a lot further. All right, it's not just about stablecoins. It stretches quite a lot further. Now, I noticed this earlier today. SEC brings charges against blockchain-based trading platform over alleged violation of disclosure rules. Guys, I am never trying to say that the SEC is always in the wrong or they're completely destroyed entity or some sort. No, I am saying the course of action of the SEC is most of the time here ununderstandable. That does not mean that the SEC doesn't do their job right sometimes. I mean, I literally think the SEC is one of the most important entities over in the United States, which I think is also why, at the end of the day, they should do their job better, not just completely be out or something like that. At the end of the day, guys, there's a lot of freaking companies out there that are literally fraudulent, that are stealing your money, which I think the SEC needs to take action for. Then again, I don't really think Ripple is one of them based upon everything that we've seen in the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit. And also, I think that if they're gonna be this governing head, that they should also keep a clear overview and a clear explanation for every action that they do take, following their own principle of protecting the investors. If you're doing that, then also give the investors the insight as to how you're protecting them. Not just, I'm protecting you, don't ask questions, I'm protecting you! You know, that's kind of how it's going right now. At least as far as I'm concerned, that's the way I'm kind of feeling it. It's like, we're not going to tell you anything on the insides. We're just doing everything, all the thinking for you. If you have any questions about that logic that we have, so good luck. All right, good luck. We might sue you for it. All right. So a couple other things. Wrath of Kahneman shared this. Watching. Ripple investor SBI and the World Bank Group IFC have invested in Dubai's Global Market Access Network (GMA) to back their trading platform for global foreign stocks. Notably, the cloud-based platform aims for multi-currency settlement, which I think would be interesting. No Ripple or XRP link. GMA is already multi-currency. It's just interesting given the parties involved and the locations, Dubai and the cloud. The SBI PR public release is right there. Just a little fun part. However, we also have some real news on Ripple specifically. Payment infrastructure news. The last few days have been marked by positive news for Swift competitor Ripple. Observers speak of a possible turning point in the lawsuit with the SEC, but more interesting from our point of view is the cooperation with Modular, which could give Ripple project a new boost. The partnership means the firm using Ripple's RippleNet for real-time payments will have an alternative to legacy correspondent banking for payments into UK and Europe, explains Finextra. Let me actually do this one. Quoting Cindy Young, MD, RippleNet Europe, together we look forward to providing faster, simpler cross-border payments experience for customers on RippleNet and into the UK and Europe. So that's actually really nice to see them quote it like this. We really haven't seen a lot of these outlets that actually express why these things are so bullish, and so I like it from that perspective. I just like them quoting about it instead of just us reading into it and learning about it only ourselves. So look at a couple of pieces of news that we got today. Let's see. So James Phillips shared this. Gensler argues that crypto exchanges offering digital assets need to be registered with the SEC. Sam Bankman-Fried indicated that in an interview that he'd prefer to see the CFTC's take on a bigger role, crypto's aspiring Washington kingmaker. Basically, anyone can do a much better job at regulating crypto than the SEC. Their ignorance of pursuing enforcement actions toward our industry will cripple innovation, for sure. Just to put things into perspective. Let's see what else we got here. John Deaton said, fighting the SEC to get documents being held from the public. This appeal is for correspondence between Clayton and Tom Cotton, Mike Crapo, that's a nice name, and NSA Ratcliffe related to the SEC's lack of clarity, suppression of innovation, and favoring certain assets over others. Why not produce? Or produce? FJ said, whose SEC is this? Whoever is overseeing this agency needs to be held accountable. We deserve better. Let's see the letter real quick. Appeal Freedom of Information Act. This is another FOIA request. Yeah, which is Freedom of Innovation Act request. Dear Mr. Deaton, this responds to your January 25th FOIA appeal regarding the delay in the FOIA office response to your document or December 20th, 2021 FOIA request. I've reviewed your appeal and confirmed that the FOIA that it is still reviewing your FOIA request. FOIA office, okay. I am therefore remanding this matter. Sorry guys, I'm freaking stupid reading this, but okay. To the FOIA office and requesting that the FOIA officer process these requests as expeditiously as possible. You may contact the number FOIA branch chief at regarding the status of this matter on remand. If you have any questions regarding the determination, please contact senior counsel. Okay, interesting. I didn't know he was actually trying to get some information on the background as well. So FOIA request is Freedom of Information Act. What it kind of comes down to, guys, let me feel like here. What the FOIA is kind of come down to, as far as I now understand, right? Not a lawyer. I'm just reading stuff. That's it. I guess a lawyer also just reads stuff and then learns stuff and then applies that stuff. All right. So what I meant to say is the FOIA request is just the SEC is an agency where the information that they possess, at least a lot of it, should be out and open to the public if they so demand it, if it so be necessary. And so what he's doing is basically putting up a request that follows his own right to know specific pieces of information from a public entity or an entity that serves the public, so to speak, because the information should be publicly available if it's been demanded for any specifically here in this case, I guess, or at least specifically, I guess, if you need it for a lawsuit, I think it should also be eligible to be required, but it doesn't matter exactly what my thoughts are about it. I think it's just they are supposed to hand over certain pieces of info if it's been required, and that's again what the Freedom of Information Act is for. And he's putting basically a use upon that with this specific request, right? Or an appeal to file a request or something like that. Who cares? It's just we'll see if he actually gets any of the information. It's already a very good idea that he's at least trying something, so I'm already happy about that. I guess we covered all the most important pieces of news except for this one. No, we also covered this one, right? Yeah, we also covered this one. So I didn't really cover too much in depth. I'm just trying to say, I don't even know the details of whether or not this exchange is doing anything wrong. What I meant to say about it was actually kind of connect these two links, which were, I believe, the ESM Bankman Free. Yeah, these two I want to kind of link together in some sense that we don't really know exactly who should regulate exchanges or exactly how that should come along, as they're not security exchanges. You know, they don't handle securities, so why would the Securities and Exchange Commission, which mostly does securities on exchanges, handle it? Is it because of the SE, the E part only? Or should it be the, commodities future? It could be the CFTC, as there's also a lot of leverage things on there. I don't know. It's difficult, definitely a difficult battle. I digress. I meant to say that the SEC sometimes is on the right path with trying to actually keep your money safe. Sometimes it's just the fact that trying to withhold so much information and actually explain why and how they're doing these things that makes things bad. And then a completely unrelated piece of news that I think was really big, though. It's related to an exchange, so I guess it relates in some way, shape, or form to the story. Binance and the record label behind K-pop sensation Blackpink will work on creating eco-friendly NFTs. Okay, so I don't really care about the eco-friendly part for the NFT thing specifically, as I know it's just a money grab in any way, shape, or form. Most of these things that you're seeing right now, they're not meant to just be, we're gonna do this for the environment. If they really wanted to, good, but I don't believe it. Let's put it like that. If it really is their main purpose, nice. I don't believe it though, right? Maybe call me ignorant, I don't really care. But I honestly think this is just another money grab, another very big potential thing. You know, the agency behind Blackpink, you know how crazy good their marketing is. It is insane. So the way I see it, right, when we looked into the guy of BlackRock, what's his name again? Larry Fink. Larry Fink, when we looked into that, remember guys, BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, what they have is basically a specific rating. If your company that they have invested in does not have that rating, you're not going to get the BlackRock seal of approval. So almost any company out there right now, even Ripple is doing it, they're abiding by the standard basically. You have to do a lot in eco-friendliness to be able to be eligible for a lot of backing and to actually get a nice, basically goodwill from companies and from the world, whatever. So whenever somebody's doing an eco-friendly thing in this sense and they're marketing it like that, I sometimes think, yeah, I'm not so sure if that's their main goal or just for promotional efforts. Then again, I guess still the point lies, if you can actually buy into it and it's kind of like a demandable thing, so it's not like 50 billion different NFTs out there, I would honestly still recommend looking into it, as there's a very high probability that this is still going to pop off, as this community, right, from the Blackpink and whatnot and a lot of the K-pop sensations is so severe that there's most likely a good amount of money to be made, as it's most likely going to sell out within a second or 5. People will pay crazy money to actually have it and whatnot, as this is like cult-like followings if you ask me.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.